Did I mention I hadn't played a Metal Gear Solid game?
Welcome to the number one top 5 show on the Explosion Network. This week I want to talk about franchises. Some of them are great, some of them not so much. It's incredibly difficult to keep a high standard of quality over the length of a franchise, but the ones named here today are the ones that hold a close place in our heart. The guests with me today are Ashley Hobley.
Hey, I'm here.
You are. And Kieran Marchant.
I'm back. It's like
You're back after your one episode hiatus.
I know. I have one episode of hiatus. I come back. It's like a nice warm pair of underwear.
You know what this means is I don't have to name you in the title now.
God damn it! That's why you freaking tricked me. You know what he did, audience? He told me we were recording one day, and I turned up. He even opened a Hangouts, and I turned up and nobody was here. And apparently, that was just a decoy.
Got him.
Not impressed.
All
What
right.
of my name in lights,
Franchises. How hard was it for you to pick your top 5?
Not as hard as I thought it was going to be when I looked at it. I think I look at franchises a little bit differently than I would say, if somebody said, oh, we've already been through greatest story and stuff like that. I think you look at franchise a bit differently, and you have to look at, for me, it's what the franchise means to the industry a little bit, what the franchise means to me, or how I think it's affected the world, or affected gaming in general. So I think I've evaluated franchises a little bit differently for me.
What about you, Ash?
Yeah, it wasn't overly difficult. I mean, it was just whatever came to mind first. Obviously, stuck out. I think it was hard to get to 5 until I started really sort of broadening my line of thinking.
What immediately was for me was games that I would buy day one in a series that I would have no issue about.
Yeah, that you wouldn't even need to see anything. It's just here's my money, take it.
Definitely. Yeah. And there was the ones I thought about, but there's games I considered putting Mass Effect on there, but Andromeda really killed it for me. So
yeah, I was in the same boat. I looked at it and went, it's an ugly duckling that kind of mars it on its franchise a little bit.
Yeah. So, drum roll. We're going to go with you, Ashley. What's your first franchise?
Okay, I've listened to this show well enough to know to put the most important games, the ones that I think you're going to have on your list first. So I'm going to kick it off with Ratchet and Clank. That is
interesting.
That series. It sums up my childhood, my adolescence, probably most of my 20s as well. It just seems to be always there. I remember playing I only got in on the third one. Up Your Arsenal, I think it was.
Up Your Arsenal was the third one, because Locked and Loaded was the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Locked and Loaded, Up Your Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah, and we would play that me and my brothers would play that forever. We'd just go, and it had that New Game Plus thing, but it was continuous, it never ended.
Yeah, no, it never ended. You always were just replaying the story again with upgraded weapons and harder enemies. And for me, that's interesting hearing that you came in at number 3.
Yeah.
Because the evolution of Ratchet and Clank was an interesting one from its start point, and then with 2 and 3, it got more focused on the weaponry, the armor. It kind of changed more and more and more. It was good to see, Captain Quark still be included in those characters. What a guy.
What a hero.
What a guy. He's my hero.
Upstanding citizen.
It was interesting to see the development of the story throughout the focus by Insomniac, their focus on the games and how it changed.
Did Insomniac do the whole franchise?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did pretty much everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've literally never played a Ratchet and Clank game.
You didn't even pick up the remaster?
No.
That remaster was nostalgic gold for me. It felt, even though it was different, it was still enough the same that there were so many moments of, oh crap, I did that in one sitting.
Yeah.
When that came out, that remake, I did that in one sitting all day. I think I took a day off work for it. I literally sat there morning to night and just played the crap out of it because I loved it so much.
Because I come from a Nintendo 64, and by the time we got a PS2, I think I was, as much influence as I had over getting the games I want, from presents and stuff, I think I was over that mascot platformer type of thing, and it just really didn't want that anymore.
Did you avoid like Jak and Daxter and the Jak?
I did. I
games as
never
well?
played a Jak and
You
Daxter until I got them on the PS Vita, and I tried to play the first one and just couldn't.
The first one's aged really badly,
Yeah.
in my opinion, but I really like Jak 2 because honestly, you could probably play Jak 2 and Jak 3 like without playing the first one because they're completely different.
I know I did want to try Jak 2 or 3 because it was like a GTA Mad Max type of thing.
It's both. So Jak 3 goes more Mad Max, but Jak 2 is more like where it started to get really GTA, and it was weird but awesome.
Yeah. Interesting choice. All right.
Also, shout out to the future games on PS3. The Tools of Destruction and Cracker Time. Those awesome
apparently
platforms.
are really good, and I've never gone back to
Yeah.
play them.
Man.
I've always heard people talk about Cracker Time being amazing, and I'm like, I was not a PS3 person, so I missed it.
Missed it.
I'll allow it. All right, Kieran, what's yours?
Speaking of a game we just mentioned, Grand Theft Auto. Theft Auto. What a giant franchise that thing is. Like, the fact that it sprawled all the way from being top-down driving games to these massive open-world sandboxes where you could... I have memories of being a kid and wasting hours of my time in that game, not starting a mission, but just fucking around, just seeing what I could do,
getting
what you can
5
get
stars and trying to get away.
Getting 5 stars, like, in I think it was Vice City. No, it was pretty much all 3 of them. Is you'd always like have to try, and you would not unlock any of the other islands, and you'd instantly get stars for some reason if you left the first
you go over
island.
the bridge,
Which I don't know how the game explains that, but you do.
They do. They explain it through in-game radios with
Customs.
storms and terrorists and stuff like that.
So we'd play games where you're like, you'd get 5 stars and then see who could last the longest and who could live and who could put up with all the cops. And then the games themselves, playing them as a kid was entirely not appropriate. And I don't think I understood half of the time what I was doing or what I was a part of. Like, Vice City, I think, was the first game where I started to slowly understand the story a bit more. And then the best thing I really love about GTA is if you've played them, there's always characters that kind of stand out for you. Like for me, GTA 3, not so much. And Vice City is hard to remember parts of it. But like starting from one of my favorite things, I freaking quote all the time, is Roman Bellick's. It's Roman, yeah. No. Yeah, Nico's the character.
Yeah.
Roman's, because I'm always like, hey, cousin, come bowling. Like, just that meme of you'd be in the middle of, like, a cop chase or a mission, and he'd, like, message you, be like, hey, man, come bowling. Like, come see some big American titties. Like, you just gotta... It's just, like, such a character that you get used to, and that story was really in-depth, and I really loved how the story developed. And then, leading into GTA 5 and the monster that thing's become with GTA Online is just insane. So, GTA definitely deserves to be here.
Yep. So, I'll do this one now. GTA is also on my list.
Yep.
It is so ingrained. Like, I grew up with GTA, and it's just so ingrained in my gaming memory and history and relationships. Like, the very first time I played a GTA, which was GTA 1, I remember going to a family friend's place with my mum, and the girl's older brother had it on PC, and just playing around and fucking around with that, and then eventually convincing my mother to buy it for me. I had to have been still in primary school, and just my friend from over the road coming over and just fucking around, top down, finding the tank, fucking around with that, running over the guys in a row we're all in the orange shirts, and then moving on, I didn't really get to play 2. I played it like once or twice, and then I remember getting 3 for Christmas with our PS2 when we were on holidays in Perth, and just playing around with that, and just mind-blowing at the time.
There's nothing like... I don't think we'll ever get another experience that's truly like that unless VR or alternate reality really gets going, but I don't think we're
even that, I don't think it can just live up to that impact. I don't think we'll ever get that jump again.
No, just that first moment of being like, wait, I can drive around this entire city. Like, there's nothing stopping me from going places. This is insane. This is ridiculous. I don't think, I could confidently say we're not going to get that feeling ever again.
Yeah. And even just the rest of the games, getting them on launch, just being super fucking excited, playing like San Andreas and Vice City with my brother, fighting over whose turn it was, or going kill death for death, just doing random stuff. And even the stories, they're phenomenal. And I think GTA was very understated and unappreciated by, or at least not talked about by a lot of people, is the satire.
Yes.
The way that it's just a satire of everything, American culture at the time and everything like that, and it just doesn't seem to get the recognition for that either.
The amount of effort that's put into just the radio stations of that game is ridiculous. That they put in such a wide range of radio stations that you could listen to for a reasonable amount of time before you start hearing repeated stuff. You can, there's proper ads been made and proper, hosts and people talking.
Even the talk radio, those stations are fucking hilarious too.
Yeah. And, it was a thing when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, we used to have the radio station on our iPods.
Yep.
Like, and you just listened to it, and I played it in my car. Like, it's just one of those things where the game outreaches itself and really clings onto everything in its growth for that whole system. And did you do the thing with San Andreas? Like, I remember the moment we unlocked the airfield in that game, it was like our playground. Like, that was where we were fucking around. It was challenging each other to who can get into the army base, grab the jetpack, and get out before you die. Yep. Just there's so much in those games that you could really just break down and really fall in love with, and just to get lost in.
Even another word on the music, like I hear a song that was on a radio station in GTA, and it just takes me back to a moment. Like listening to Slow Ride by Foghat, I remember it just takes me to the place in a mission in San Andreas where you're driving through the hills in the hippie van, high, going into San Fierro.
It's the same for me with Radio Gaga by Queen in Vice City.
GTA 4.
Yeah, and GTA 4. It was in Vice City.
It wasn't in Vice City.
Wasn't it?
Nope.
Oh, no, my memory. Oh, no. No, it's
You're getting old.
GTA 4, then. That's fine.
Early onset Alzheimer's.
Yep.
GTA 4 is also connected with me for helping out at a game store at the time of its release, and having kids that were way too young for that game coming and be like, "Hey, can I have GTA IV? GTA IV, please?" And you're like, "You are clearly not old enough for this game. If you don't know Roman numerals, you can't have this. Numerals, get out."
Is that the game based in the hospital that everybody shows up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
GTA IV. IV. And you're like, oh my god, leave me alone.
GTA Grey's Anatomy. Even the PSP games, which are great.
Yeah, they were really good. Do you ever play the DS one? The DS one was interesting because it's like
I did, but I couldn't grasp the driving on the DS. I just couldn't get my head around it.
For me, the weirdest thing was I was like,
use the D-pad.
Yeah, I know, but it's just I couldn't control it properly.
I felt like I was doing something wrong playing that style of game on a Nintendo console. I just felt wrong.
Drug Empire and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. All right. Do you have any particular memories with GTA, Ashley?
Obviously, GTA. I enjoyed GTA 1 and GTA 2. Just that top-down, just run around.
Yep.
Was GTA London GTA 2, or is that a spin-off?
GTA London was an expansion for GTA 1.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we had it installed on the computers at school. So we'd be
really?
playing that while... Yeah. And then when the teachers would come around, you just alt-tab and onto something else, yeah.
Wow, hooligans.
Yeah.
Hooligans.
Good times.
God damn it, Ashley. This is where your corrupt ways began. We see it now.
Pretty much. And GTA 5 is great. And obviously, it's online is just going to live forever.
Yeah.
Meaning Rockstar will never make a 6.
Nah, they'll definitely make a 6. I really hope in 6, though, they don't do 3 characters again.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I liked the idea, or maybe you pick just one of the characters to play through the game, because I liked the idea, but for me, it almost felt a little OCD for me that I felt like I couldn't micromanage everything, or the small things of like, I'd have my Trevor in a nice outfit, and I'd switch to somebody else, and then I'd come back, and he's changed out of that fucking outfit. It's just like, urgh, stay in it. Super cool.
All right, back around to you, Ashley.
Next one, Pokemon. I think everybody's played Pokemon. Everybody loves Pokemon. Pokemon's probably one of the games that I've played the most. Blue, Gold, Diamond. I can't even remember what all the other ones are. Even the N64 battle games. Pokemon
Yeah,
Snap,
Pokemon Stadium.
Pokemon
Everything.
Stadium.
Pokemon Stadium,
was
yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
Even the Pokemon trading card game was alright.
Yeah. I think for me, Pokemon was probably like not for me personally, but I think Pokemon was like the best gift to parents ever. Because any long road trip or drives in the car, you could literally just be like, "Here, kid, have your Game Boy, have Pokemon, okay, go." You will not hear much out of that kid for like the whole drive, probably, unless you've filled them with drinks, and then that's a bad idea.
Unless it's alcohol, then you put them to sleep.
Yeah, put them to sleep. Bit of whiskey does them good. No, Pokemon was. I was a Pokemon. I had Pokemon Blue. Yeah, I had No. I can't remember if I had red or blue now.
Oh my god, Kieran.
No, I had Pokemon Blue.
They're pretty
This
similar.
is a defining moment. Like, it depends if I hate you or love you.
Blue.
Yes,
Squirtle.
that's a good one.
Squirtle was my boy. And my thing with that game was I never let it evolve into Wartortle because Wartortle looks stupid. I'd just be like, no.
How you never got the Blastoise? It looks awesome.
No, you still did.
Okay.
You still did.
You
just skip that evolve, and then when you get to the level, like, what, I think is it 35? As soon as you get to level 35, 36, it's like, hey, do you want to let it evolve? And I was like, yes, thank you.
into Wartortle.
No, and I would have been so angry if that happened. Into Blastoise, because...
How did you know to do that?
I don't know, I just tried it one day. Because I was just like, I hate Wartortle, it looks so dumb. It looks stupid, they ruin... I just wanted my Squirtle to be the Squirtle from the cartoons with, like, the Sunnies.
Yeah.
And really attitude and stuff, yeah.
Also, I don't understand the hate for Bulbasaur while we're talking about Pokemon.
Fuck Bulbasaur. What a waste of space.
He's a dinosaur. It's awesome.
It's awesome, but, like, for me, the worst thing
Save this for top 5 Pokemon.
If you picked Charmander or Bulbasaur, it meant the first gym was the hardest piece of shit in the world. Well, for me it was just because I'm of the mentality of gotta catch one and make it really, really strong and smash everything else. Not catch them all. I just want to smash everything with my one Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon for me, like, I loved Blue, I loved Yellow, I loved Gold, but once it got to generations past that, I just could not get into it anymore. Whether it was the samey gameplay or just the designs of the new Pokemon were absolutely ridiculous, like trash cans and ice creams and fucking stuff like that. I just could not get into it. Like, I tried with Ruby and then I think Black and then X or whatever. Like, I bought them and tried them. I just wasn't for me anymore.
When I was a kid, and I think it's about the evolution of the game because you have to evolve anyway. But those games used to be primarily about I'm collecting all the badges. I want to be the best Pokemon trainer in the world. I want to beat the Elite Four. I'm going to do this. Yep. But then I also had this cool little side story about Team Rocket on the side. And I think as the games have gone on and matured, the going to the gyms, becoming the best, and beating the Elite Four has kind of become the side story. And this, Team Rocket, Team Aqua, Team Magma, Team Sox. Team Sox isn't real, but it'll eventually be a thing, probably.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I know, right? Team Socks, Team Hats, Team Beanies. Suddenly that stuff became more important and that became the story. And I was like, well, that's not Pokemon for me. I understand what you're trying to do, but that's not what Pokemon's about. Like, when I heard that Sun and Moon are the latest ones where the gyms aren't really gyms?
No.
Like, they're not the same anymore? I was like, what? Why?
What are they then?
Yeah, they're like
you
tests?
Like don't have to do. They're like
you have to like prove yourself or something. Yeah,
puzzles or tests and stuff. You don't actually fight through the gym anymore and beat the gym.
I suppose credit to them for trying something different, but
they're big enough to be able to.
Yeah,
but also at the same time, they could just leave it and still make millions.
Yeah, they got Pokemon Go now. It's going to live forever.
That was really cool until my phone battery was like, yeah, no, man.
It was rough. That couple of months where everybody was playing Pokemon Go. See people walking up and down your street for no reason. Just too many people outside. It's crazy.
Too many people outside, exactly.
That
didn't make sense.
Really something that has never really happened before, and I don't think will happen again.
No.
It really was quite amazing.
Yeah.
It's like if they said that Mario Run game, you actually had to run for it.
Yeah, I don't
No,
think
that would have
anyone
flopped.
do
That would have flopped.
All right, Kieran, what's your next one?
My next one is from. It's a sore spot for most of the gaming community, but it's a fantastic franchise either way. I'm talking Half-Life.
Overwatch isn't a franchise.
Overwatch isn't a franchise;
Yep.
it's one game. But no, I'm talking Half-Life. Half-Life for me as a franchise was so fantastic, and it did so much for the gaming world as a collective, like what that game moved on with, stuff like physics in games and the way its engine ran and the technological feat that those games were at the time they came out was amazing. Also, the fact that Half-Life 3 is just like the unicorn of the gaming world. Like, that thing is just... Even kids that probably have never played Half-Life 1 or Half-Life 2 probably still talking shit about when's Half-Life 3 going to come out.
Never.
Probably not.
They're just going to skip ahead to 4.
That would be dope.
Or X.
Was it Half-Life 3 or was it Episode 3?
Well,
I thought there was meant to be 3 episodes.
Everybody calls it Half-Life 3, but really it's Episode 3.
Okay.
But everybody, talks about it like it's Half-Life 3. But just, that skyrocketed. Because of Half-Life and Counter-Strike, that skyrocketed Valve into, creating Steam. And Steam is now a phenomenon in the world by itself. Not even the consoles, I think, can replicate what Steam is doing on PC. So I think it's because of Half-Life, these moves and these bounds and these other games that we've got later on have been able to be, to come to fruition.
I played through Half-Lives and I enjoyed them, but the mentality I have towards Half-Life is similar I have towards the Beatles. Like, I can appreciate what they've done for the industry and the impact they had, but I don't know, in my opinion, they're overrated.
That's understandable. Sometimes you just need a little help from your friends.
Have you played any Half-Life,
No,
Ashley?
I have not.
Oh my god.
Shocking.
I knew it would be, because it's mainly a PC thing. Like,
Yeah.
the Orange Box came out, and...
He couldn't install it over all those viruses.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. Ash is not good with computers, everybody.
Ash, just get the Half-Life taskbar.
Yeah, if there was a Half-Life taskbar, Ashley would have it.
Yeah.
It'd be installed.
Sure. I'll play it when Half-Life 3 comes out.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah.
Alright. My next one, without this franchise, it would not have given me one of my greatest passions of my life, and that is the Madden franchise.
You know what? I was honestly thinking about putting FIFA in my list. Spoilers, I didn't. But for probably the similar thing to you, I was thinking about putting FIFA in, or a sports game like that.
Yeah, because my dad used to watch it when I was younger, and I didn't really pay attention to it, but I first played Madden, and I enjoyed the game, and it really got me interested in the sport. It's how I grasped all the rules and what was going on and who the teams were, and then I evolved on to actually watching the sport, and my passion just grew from there, and it's just, I'm a mad fan of the sport itself, and it's a game I'll buy every year. And I know there's the rose-tinted glasses, like, because EA bought out the license to Madden and the exclusive license to the NFL, so no one else can make games, and people carry on like NFL 2K was like so much better, but
It was alright.
I never played the 2K games, so to me Madden is all there's ever been, and I think they do a fantastic job, really.
I don't think, and I also don't think that competition is the best, because you can then compare it to the FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer kind of thing, where if you ever played Pro Evo, it kind of just felt like the half-baked cheap version of FIFA.
Because how FIFA fucking dare you?
Well, it was the truth. It was like
not back in the day.
No.
These days they are, but not back in the day.
No.
Well, for the period of time I played FIFAs, or I cared about FIFA was always better than Pro Evo, and I had both.
Yeah, back before you were born.
Probably. I am a youngin'.
Yeah, so Madden's just up there. Like, it's a sports game. You wouldn't
Is
really
there like a
think about
highlight
it.
you've got? Like, what's the best Madden? What was the best Madden ever? Or is
To
that
me,
another top
I always,
five you were gonna do
I
by
can't,
yourself?
I don't remember what year it was, but it was a year, because these days, you can't, the
There's
thing
no
that annoys me most about Madden these days is you just can't play a season. There's all this fucking XP, pseudo RPG stuff integrated with it. It was back when, I think it was Madden 10, where you could just play a season, and the thing I loved the most about it was, after each game, they had, like, and even halftime, they had their own, like, faux halftime show telling you what was going on around the league, and they were there in a studio talking to you and all stuff like that, and I just loved that so much.
I liked it was like I'm comparing on to FIFA because I can't really talk about Madden, but it was it's interesting when I watched Ashley play FIFA, like the story mode thing. No, was that FIFA?
It was
or
the long shot.
The Madden,
that was
the long
Madden.
shot. Yeah.
That was long shot because FIFA's doing the other one that's
The
a
journey.
story journey that's been continuing for like 2 games now, and I look at that and that's ridiculous to me because I always remember FIFA being about just playing like season manager mode. Like you pretty much were just the manager of a club, whatever club you wanted to be. If you wanted to start off as a lower club and work your way up, and it was just like indefinitely. You could just play that on and on and on and on and on for as long as you wanted because it just wouldn't run out. But these games are changing quite a bit now, so
They are. Like, I never played that story mode, and like even it's moving into the domain of like the Madden Ultimate Team with all the card packs and doing all that kind of stuff, and it's in all the EA games. But for me, I just get the most enjoyment out of playing a game. It's that speaks to the strength of the basic gameplay and at its base level to how good it is that I'll still buy it every year because of just that.
Okay,
Right.
well, spoiler alert, my next pick was FIFA.
Okay.
sorry, Ashley.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Go for
Yeah, I've probably bought more FIFAs than any other type of game, I think. And every year I say, oh, I can hold off this year, and then something, especially now with the journey, I'm invested in that story. So now they've got me. They've got me.
They've got you with the
Or
story.
does it go over
Yeah,
years?
this one,
Like
it
the story
continues. Well,
continues?
I don't know.
Okay.
The
long
same
shot was
character
only
has
last year.
continued for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
So.
and decisions matter, and
It's like Telltale games of
yeah,
FIFA.
it is sort of.
It'll become a metagame where you become that successful, you end up on the E3 EA stage talking about FIFA.
I
maybe.
always find it interesting, like with it was 2K, it was NBA 2K that's like we brought in Spike Lee to do our story mode. And you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
it was okay that one.
Sure.
It was. He needed an editor. That's what he needed.
he needed an editor.
There was
I
some
know.
like 20-minute cutscenes. It was crazy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh god.
The Kojima of sports games.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's interesting what they've done with FIFA, and
Yeah.
my favorite change they've ever made to any game or any football game was, or pretty much any sports game, was when they started live updating the rosters for teams, or
Yeah.
you could turn on that ability to, if a player was injured in real life, he was injured in the game.
Yep.
I really like that feature because I'm like, wow, that's really awesome. That's ridiculous how much you can change and alter the game now. That I think that's only a benefit. Whereas some games, I'm like, come on, developers, you can stop changing the game a little bit, just leave it how it is.
Yeah.
But with those games, I think it's a fantastic tool that they can use.
My thing with FIFA is I used to play all the time a top-down one on the PC. I think it was like FIFA 96 or something like that. But then I bought 08 and 09 and I loved that. But I skipped it for a couple of years and tried to get back into it. But it had just evolved too far beyond what I wanted from a soccer game. Like, it moved too far into the sim territory as opposed to a game.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm nowhere near a fan of that level of soccer.
Which is probably why you probably enjoyed Pro Evo a little bit more, because Pro Evo wasn't a sim. Like, it was just for fun, really.
Yeah, because they got no licenses, so
Yeah.
They used to when I played. I think
it lost even more. I'm pretty sure licenses.
Yeah,
so.
they lost the UEFA deal, I think. Yeah.
So.
I put heaps of times in the PES Soccer for PSP or whatever it was. I forget which one it was, but I loved that one.
Yeah.
So yeah. You have anything more to say on FIFA, Ashley?
It's good.
FIFA.
Soccer.
Good.
I'm still playing it. I'm playing with my little brother now, who loves it, and
Yep.
yeah, occasionally he beats me. So
Occasionally.
not a good sign.
Football.
When you
it's
go and try and score a goal.
No, he just runs straight through the middle, and I can't stop it. I don't know what.
That's when you start playing dirty. You just get a few red cards. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of soccer games, I have this fond memory. I think it was called This Is Football or This Is Soccer on PS2. And I always used to play as Brazil, and the commentator would always used to yell out Ronaldo's name whenever he touched the ball, and my brother absolutely fucking hated it, so I always passed it to Ronaldo.
Ronaldo!
Yeah, it was exactly that.
Yeah.
So they recorded one line. And
Yeah, they literally just
Yeah.
replayed it over and over each time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, Kieran, what's your next one?
My next one, I'm gonna do Gears of War.
Ooh.
So
Yep.
you two probably haven't had much experience with Gears of War, maybe? I'm not sure.
No, I know.
I've
it's
seen a
game.
video or two on it.
You've seen a video or two on it? Well,
These are Gears.
for my Xbox, for my Xbox love, Gears of War is probably my favorite Xbox franchise. They're going to bring out lots more soon, so that's cool. But there's nothing more iconic for me for that game when I think about being an Xbox fan is that just the Lancer with the freaking stupid chainsaw. Whoever invented that is just awesome.
So impractical.
It's just these characters that are just like a ball of rock and muscle with like the shortest necks and these massive power armor.
The human Battletoads.
Yeah, like human Battletoads. And just how it first started off as stupid fun, and then throughout the franchise it develops its story and it develops your connection with characters. And even
You know what
to the
it
point
is?
where-
It's the Fast and Furious of gaming.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd go with that. It's like the Fast and Furious of gaming. It grew really well, and even to the point where with Gears of War 4 being a further development of the game where you're now playing as the characters' children from the previous games, and you're still seeing, the main character Marcus is still a big part of Gears 4, which I think is fantastic and is such an enjoyable thing to see the lifetime of that character to come full, almost full circle and keep moving. That it's fantastic. I love that series.
Yep. It's a game.
It's a game.
I'm sure people
It's a
love it.
franchise.
I'm sure Gears of 5 will
They do.
be really good. It looks
you can
really
watch
good at
through-
E3. And
it's gonna look good at this E3. Yeah.
That's right.
Yep. You'll be able to see Dylan and me play through Gears 1.
Wait, when's E3? This might come out after it.
Is it gonna?
I
Oh,
think so.
if it's afterwards. We saw Gears 5, which prompted me to talk about this.
Alright. My next one, a lot of these on my list that have to do with like my memories with them and my experiences, and this one is the Battlefield series. Like, I've talked about it ad nauseum on other episodes, so I'll keep it short. Like, it's just like it was my introduction reel to serious PC gaming, I think. And like, I always remember there was an internet cafe in the city here, and we used to go there on a Saturday afternoon because my mum and dad used to go on around then, so they'd drop us off there for a few hours and we'd go home, and the whole time I'd just be playing Battlefield 1942 and then just loving that, and then getting Battlefield Vietnam for the PC at home and just getting every single one since then. I've just put countless hours in them, enjoyed my time with them so much, and I won't hesitate to buy another one, whatever they announce. Even with whatever issues, like, I know Battlefield 4 got a pandering at fucking launch because of the issues, but I never really experienced it, so it never marred my my outlook on it.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's very fair. What's your opinion on Battlefield 1?
I love Battlefield 1.
Yep.
Unfortunately, like, I've moved on for Battlefield 1 now, but I know a lot. EA has dropped the ball in
Very
regards to
much so.
servers and stuff
Very
locally
much so.
and stuff like that. Like, I would be pissed off about that, but I'm not experiencing it, so it's kind of like looking from the outside in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Battlefield 1 contained one of my favourite memories it was last year or the year before it was released.
Yeah.
Whenever it was released.
2015.
It contains one of my favorite gaming memories
No,
from recent.
16.
No, it's been. I was going to say it's more recent than 15. It contains, one of the vignettes they did is one of my favorite sections of storytelling from that year of gaming. So it isn't just a mindless shooter, which is good. I toyed around with the idea of Call of Duty in this, but I think I would only have toyed around with that if Call of Duty had stopped like 3 games ago.
Oh, it would be even earlier for me,
there's still some experience. I'm like, I really enjoyed that campaign. I really enjoyed that multiplayer. But I think that franchise for me, was just turned into crap. So the fact that Battlefield continued to hold a lot of its integrity as a game and not turn into Call of Duty's clone, and also be able to bring these stories forward is fantastic.
Agreed, yeah. Even touching on the single player, Battlefield 3, the single player, the story itself wasn't fantastic, but it had some phenomenal, unforgettable moments, like the mission where you're walking through the carrier deck and then you go up top and there's a storm raging and all the action on top of the carrier deck and you and your wingman getting your jets and you go through all the startup and everything and just taking off into the sky is just an unforgettable, such a cinematic moment that it's unforgettable, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Ashley, Battlefield.
Their games, that look good. I always wanted to get Bad Company because I heard that was awesome, but
it was awesome.
Bad Company 2 was the better one.
Well, there's only it's 50-50.
I don't know. It could be Bad Company 3 announced.
Yeah,
at E3 just gone.
Yesterday, it could have been announced yesterday.
Yeah,
at Sony press conference. How much would you freak out if that's the game for this year?
Honestly, I enjoyed Bad Company, but it's not up there for me. I preferred the main numbered ones and like the ones previous.
Cool.
All right, Ashley, next one.
It has to be Uncharted, just on pure quality alone. Over those 5-6 games, I mean, it's hard to argue. Uncharted was the first game.
6.
Is it
You're including Golden Abyss and Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Lost Legacy is a DLC, isn't it?
For some people,
technically it's a standalone.
There's a disc.
Okay.
Okay,
go on.
So Uncharted. Uncharted was the first game I picked up on my PS3 as soon as I bought it. I got 1 and 2 because I picked up PS3 like really late because it cost an arm and a leg and a kidney. So yeah, I played pretty much all 3 games back to back to back as soon as I picked it up and
to back.
Yeah, to back.
To back. Shout out to Tom. Love you, Tom.
Love you, Tom. Yeah, and I think that probably set the bar for what video games are for me going into this new generation.
And it comes so late in your life too.
Yeah, I know.
So late, old man Hobley.
Yeah. Like, Uncharted's a funny thing for me. Like, the stories I loved, but the moment-to-moment gameplay, especially the combat, just really sours my experience, really. The gunplay in those games is so abysmal compared to some of the games I've played is just, I don't know.
You know what's ridiculous? The gunplay in Uncharted compared to the gunplay in The Last of Us is how is the same studio making these games?
Exactly.
How is the same studio making these 2 games, yet they feel completely different? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, that speaks to the strength of the story and the cinematics and everything to make me really enjoy those games. But yeah, like I said, the gunplay and especially the end boss in Uncharted 2 is one of the worst boss fights I've in fucking memory for me, and the jet ski sections in the first one is just. I think I'm fine with it being having my memories of it as opposed to going back and wanting to replay them.
I think for me as well with Uncharted, there's so many, like, you remember all of the cool set pieces.
Yeah.
They were built so well, but then also for me, the technical finesse of Uncharted, the first Uncharted, is amazing. Like, if you ever wanted to sell somebody a PS3, you would just show them some screens from Uncharted. That game was so beautiful for its time. And then also the amount of times that I ran into a pool of water up to my knees and then ran back out and be like, hey, look, the water's only, like, got my knees wet, like, up to my knees.
That was crazy, yeah.
It's like, this is ridiculous. This is technology that we haven't had before. So, just the small things they did with those games.
It is very understated now. Like, you don't even think about those things nowadays. But
Exactly. But, yeah, back then, it was a massive thing. And it was this weird thing at the time where there's been this huge role reversal because of the games. But there was a lot of things like, oh, this game is just like a male Tomb Raider. Like, it's just a male Lara Croft. What the hell? And now we're in a time where everybody's like, Tomb Raider, why are you trying to be Uncharted?
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Like, what are you doing? And it's interesting to see how times change because of repeat presence within the gaming community.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Kieran.
So
hit me with your next one.
This franchise is the most diverse franchise I'm gonna list. Or I don't think out of any of them, because even though it's a franchise, it's so far between the games. I'm talking about Final Fantasy, because for me, it is the fact that they can have one franchise but have so many different unconnected stories that play out in each game that it's a series that you could jump in at any freaking game and it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Like, you can jump in and just play the game. And
unless it's 10-2.
Well,
yeah.
Shut up.
Or 13 strikes back or whatever.
Lightning strikes again.
Oh,
something
God.
like that.
Let's just... All those games, like, the not properly numbered, or like most Final Fantasy fans, I want to forget about 10-2. Why was Yuna a pop star all of a sudden?
Isn't 10-2 just 12?
No. Well, it should be. Damn it, Nick. No. But just the fact that in its own capsule, each game can be experienced and loved for its characters without that being a flow-on effect to the next game. That, everybody has their favorites, and if you ask 10 to 15 Final Fantasy fans, I bet most of them would have a different favorite game. Like, you'd get a lot of Final Fantasy probably 7s, you'd get a lot of Final Fantasy 10s, because they are some of the highlights that people pick out, but you'll get people that say Final Fantasy 6, you'll get 8, you'll get 9, you'll have a wide variety because people love different characters and connect with different characters better than others.
Yeah, that's a fair pick. For me, Final Fantasy 7 is one of my favourite games ever, but the series as a whole is just so... Like, Final Fantasy 7 was such a place and time for me that, I don't know, I never had anything else to play, so I could deal with the grind, or the story was that good and enraptured me, but, like, trying to play other Final Fantasies is, like, which is, I don't know, my issue with JRPGs in general is the grind. I just can't deal with it, like, back then or even now. It's just not worth... The return isn't worth the investment.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
like I got burnt out on Final Fantasy X, which... I love Final Fantasy X, but I just got to a point where it's like I just had to grind and I couldn't put myself through it. And 15 itself again, and I hit a brick wall and just like, why am I doing this? It's just, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why people like grind out about it, but for me, I think if they were to announce that Final Fantasy 16 was coming sooner rather than later, or whenever, I would know I'd be buying that game straight away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't question
that's fair.
it. I would have that game just to play, just to be part of that experience.
Yeah.
And, they keep getting away with calling it the Final Fantasy, and they keep releasing more. Like, God damn it. The gall of them.
Well, they never put the at the start, so...
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I've, dabbled. I've, scratched the surface on several different ones, but it just never got the hooks in, I guess.
In some areas, Ashley's gaming is as bad as his movie watching.
I think it's just as bad.
There's only so much time.
What? Okay. Okay.
Alright. My next one. They haven't released a game for it for a long time, and It's Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair.
The first time I ever played Baldur's Gate was me, my brother, my parents and my brother, and we went to, I don't know, I think Dad's workmate just had a baby or something, and to get out of their hair, they let us play on the computer, and they had Baldur's Gate 1 on there. I just played through the tutorial and just got through it and loved it, and forgot about it for, I don't know, for however long. And then I think my brother got Baldur's Gate 2 for a birthday or Christmas years down the line, and just that game, it introduced me to a world of serious fantasy gaming and storytelling, and introduced me to the concept of Dungeons and Dragons and dice rolling and all that kind of stuff beyond a game like Yahtzee or Monopoly or something like that. And it had some of the best storytelling for its time, and the characters were all eccentric and stuff. And then it being a franchise, being made on the PS2 as an action RPG as well, moving on to that, me and my brother put so many hours just playing co-op in that game. And I know it's a very contentious point for fans of the series, but the enjoyment me and my brother got playing the action RPG games as well just elevate the franchise as a whole for me. A lot of it's to do with nostalgia.
For me, I put Baldur's Gate in the same place as Heroes of Might and Magic.
Yep.
Because they both went through a similar genesis at one point where they're like, oh, we better start being action RPGs. This is what people want now. And you know, they probably didn't get the acclaim that the earlier games got because of that change. But they were still fantastic games. And for me, as a D&D fan, it was great to see Baldur's Gate like kind of put in another place, like in a video game world, where as somebody who would go on to become a dungeon master and create worlds, it's good to see how wizards themselves write their own stories, or how, you know, Baldur's Gate was created with their characters in it.
Speaking about that, when do we get the Thelden source book?
When do you get the Thelden source book? I'm working on it. I'm trying to find a publisher. Apparently, you know,
I heard Wizards of the Coast is pretty good.
Well, yeah, but they don't publish anything but Dungeons and Dragons.
Should self-publish.
So. Oh.
Yeah, I might self-publish. Do you know anybody who's ever self-published?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Didn't Jono self-publish? Successful author of Spy and the Maven.
Ah,
yeah,
yeah,
self-publishing.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Get some tips.
But yes, Baldur's Gate. It was fantastic.
Yes. And
Ashley,
I'm not even
you,
going to ask Ashley because he's probably never played it.
No,
Ashley, how much did you enjoy
I think I
Baldur's Gate?
downloaded it once. I might have it in my Steam library.
Did you? Oh, you paid for it.
Maybe.
Well done. Maybe.
I think the thing that also brought it back to life with me is when they did the enhanced editions and released it on mobile. Like, I remember playing through 2 again on my Note, and I don't think I could have played it with just my thumbs, but because the Note had the pen, I was able to manipulate the screen. Yeah. Alright, Baldur's Gate. Good franchise.
Great franchise.
Are they ever going to do
Ashley.
3?
Probably unlikely. Almost definitely unlikely.
Okay.
Alright. What's your last one?
My last one is the franchise I've put the most time into.
Persona.
Football Manager.
Oh, God. What?
Shit.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. Let
You
me.
You're so out of left field, Ashley.
Football Manager 2013. Hours played. 1,045 hours.
Holy
Football
shit.
Manager
God.
2016. 705 hours. And
Oh, my God.
Now we know what Ashley did before he hit us.
90, Football Manager 2018, 95 hours. Yeah, it is the game I put in the most. I've just, it's so much, it's just addictive. I mean,
I thought you were getting to my Dota 2 hours then. I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh, God.
No, we can't get that close.
No, you can't get close to my Dota hours.
Yeah.
What is it about Football Manager?
I don't know. It's just the addictive. One more game. Just the building of your team.
One more game. It's one more click of Simulate. Or
Yeah.
did you actually watch games?
No, but you play through on however many like 5 times speed or whatever. See the highlights, your team scoring and occasionally
stuff.
conceding. More often than not conceding.
Occasionally. You were that
More
good?
often
Oh,
than not
okay.
conceding.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I can fully appreciate
Yeah.
that because I remember a time in high school when the A-League first started, me and a friend at school in computer class, we found this browser-based like Flash one, and we, for almost the whole year, we used to play that every week in computer class, and the addictive nature of like buying this guy, trading this guy, improving your team, watching the game play out in like a top-down 2D sense, and I can appreciate that. Even playing like I think it was like game dev story. The developers of that did like a soccer one, and I used to put a lot of hours of that on my phone. But I don't know. I'm not at anywhere on near the level of you, Ash.
But it's also like a passive thing. I can play that and while watching something else or doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm multitasking. Seeing like I'm doing multiple things at once. I'm not wasting my time.
Look, Ash, I can appreciate
I was probably
a
just
niche.
watching, I don't know, Supernatural or Battlestar Galactica or something at the time. So
I understand. I can appreciate a niche genre like you are.
I thought of anybody, you would be the one who would appreciate a niche genre.
Any Football Manager history, Kieran?
Well, I tried Football Manager once, but then I was like, wait, but I don't get to play the football game? What? Fuck this shit, I'm going back to FIFA.
No, it's like real life where you can't play the real game.
Yeah, then what's the point of playing it? I don't want to be at like real life.
Is that why you got kicked out of England? Because you didn't like Football Manager?
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't like Football Manager, I just liked FIFA better. And I didn't see the point of playing both FIFA and Football Manager at the same time.
No, you can't play them both at the same... Well, I guess you could.
Just copy the team over.
No, like while the game's loading, you can play the other one, and then
it'd be cool if they ever made like interlocking, like you football manage, and then it would like flow on. That's what FIFA.
That's
does
what
anyway.
FIFA kind of does.
Yeah.
Not as well though.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm remembering wrong, but I believe there was something similar like that one year or one time
In Bandcamp.
Yeah, I could just be imagining it.
I think you're imagining it. I
don't think I am. Tweet at Kieran and let me know I'm right. Let him know that I'm right.
Yeah.
If you know the answer.
You won't know the answer though.
Probably not.
It's fine.
All right, your last one, Kieran.
I'm going to end. I was about to say I'm starting with. No, I'm going to finish with The Legend of Zelda. I'm going to start with Zelda as a series because as a series, it has gone through that many changes and metamorphoses in gameplay, in the way it's presented to us, that I think it's going to last for generations. Like, I don't see them ever coming to a point where that messed up timeline doesn't get any more messed up. Like, they're always going to be like, all right, this happened here before this happened, and this happened, and this happened here in this timeline. If you've got an afternoon, people, and you haven't done it before, go search through the Zelda timelines. It's pretty fun. But the gameplay difference in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time is so ridiculously different, even though they were both released on the 64 and they're pretty much the same game engine. It's ridiculous. The fact that I personally hated Majora's Mask because I couldn't get my head around the timeness of that game, and so that's why I always lean towards Ocarina in that discussion. But the fact that they went and did something that changed the game so much that, Wind Waker, we're gonna make it cartoony, and it's gonna mostly be water and islands and stuff, and you're gonna sail a dragon boat. And it's like, oh shit, okay, right, interesting. And then
now you're a train conductor.
Now you're doing the ghost tracks. Okay, good job with that one.
The fat controller.
The fact that game had the coolest feature because it was on Nintendo DS that you could actually write on the maps for the game. So like you would have the map on the bottom screen of the DS, and you would just make notes for yourself and stuff like that. That was really cool. Like, come back later and do this, dickhead. But, just the fact that the game can go through so many changes and still be relevant. The fact of how well Zelda has... why am I blanking on the newest one?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, thank you, sorry.
Or the one they just announced at E3.
Yeah. Again. Or if they announce another Zelda, they're crazy. But...
Well, it could be the cartoon Zelda.
Breath of the Wild, yeah, well, it could. Breath of the Wild went through such a change that if you played those two games without really knowing the story, you wouldn't know. Like, if you played that and any of the other Zeldas, you wouldn't know they were connected. You wouldn't know that they shared a name. Zelda was, I'm so used to Zelda being a story-driven game and an RPG.
Why does Zelda always wear green?
Because that's the hero's tunic color. I think it's explained in the one Zelda game I've never played, which is Skyward Sword. Which is like
his name is Link.
Oh, I got tripped out of that one. Oh, no.
Cutting this part
Fake
out.
fan. Fake fan.
Oh, no, I didn't pick up on that. That makes me sad. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a bit while I bleach myself.
Yeah, so I really don't like the 2D Zeldas. Ocarina was my first one. I enjoyed Majora's, and then the next one I played was Breath of the Wild. Like, they were great games, but as a franchise as a whole, I dislike more than I like of it. Whether it not being really a Nintendo guy outside of the 64, but yeah, I don't know. What about you, Ash?
Yeah, I've got very little history with Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
It just wasn't... I don't know. I guess during the Nintendo 64, we never got Ocarina of Time. I think that was the...
You never got what?
Never got Ocarina of Time.
You've said it properly this time, thank you. The first time I've never heard
Ocarina of
butcher.
Time.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Ashley's very multicultural. He can say it however he wants.
Words.
He's all of our
They're all made up words.
culturalism. Ocarina is a made up word.
So's time.
Yeah.
What is time?
What is time?
What is time?
Why are we governed by time?
Yeah.
It could have... As much as Zelda's such hit and miss with me, it almost changed my whole gaming life, because... What was the one that came out for the Wii?
The Wii was
Waker.
Twilight
No,
Princess.
Twilight Princess, yeah.
That almost made us as a family get a Wii over waiting for the PS3.
I got a Wii over an Xbox 360 because of that game.
I mean, you could have gone
regretted
both.
it eventually.
It was like $5, wasn't it, for the Wii?
Yeah, it was ridiculously cheap. But
Yeah.
I bought the Wii over the Xbox 360. Well, when I say my parents bought me the Wii over the Xbox 360 because of the Twilight Princess.
Oh, I'm so glad that I didn't.
Imagine.
Because wasn't the Waggle swordplay off?
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't like game breaking.
Yeah. So I could have not been here now because of Zelda.
Zelda.
Thanks, Zelda. You fuckwit.
Leave her alone.
Yeah,
she's a beautiful princess.
I don't like green. Sorry.
She doesn't wear green, you fucker.
All right. My last one, which again would come no surprise to anyone, is Metal Gear.
Oh, what a surprise.
Oh, righto.
Yeah. I know I've talked about it probably every episode this season.
Dead franchise. Dead.
I'm pretty sure
Really
a
dead.
game came out this year, so...
Oh, God. Nick, do you include Metal Gear Survive in the Metal Gear game?
Let me tell you my history of Metal Gear. I never played the first one. We never had a PS1. And then I first experienced Metal Gear Solid 2 at, ironically, the same friend's house where I first experienced GTA. And, like, because I went with the girl's brother let me...
Good on you, girl.
Metal Gear Solid 2 to take home, which I still own. And then...
You still got their copy?
Yeah, I still got their copy. And then he got Metal Gear Solid 3. He let me borrow that, which I still own.
You still have their copy?
Yes.
If you have
You're
had a
the
copy
worst
of
friend.
a Metal Gear game stolen from you by Nicholas Plyer, please tweet at ExplosionPod. Our social media manager will reimburse you.
But yeah,
You can
then...
talk to our lawyers.
And then I ended up getting the Subsistence edition of Metal Gear Solid 3, which included Metal Gear 1, 2, and Metal Gear... No, it didn't include Metal Gear Solid. I first played Metal Gear Solid on the PSP, I want to say, as a backward, as like the classic title thing they did. And then growing up with that franchise, which I've said ad nauseum, like it's hold a special place in my heart, and then just the interwoven timelines and story, and it all crescendoing in the perfect finale of Metal Gear Solid 4 was...
Wait, would you... Yeah, it was a perfect finale, was it?
It was.
Was it?
Yeah, there was nothing ever after that.
It was. What about some kind of... It's like we're missing a game. It's like a phantom game.
Yeah,
Ground Zeroes, that's what it was.
Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain! Metal Gear Solid 5! Do you remember that one?
Never heard of it.
When you started in the hospital, where you had to crawl through the hospital for 25 minutes, and then there was like a crazy like Moby Dick references everywhere, and there was unicorns, and
Thought there was
and
unicorns.
the person that saved you was Solid
Oh,
Snake,
that was that game that was presented as a Metal Gear Solid game, but in fact wasn't.
and you thought you played
Kojima duped us all. That wasn't
You
in
thought you
fact
played
a
as
Metal Gear
Snake
Solid game
properly?
at all.
You thought
But
you
it
played
has
as
Metal
Snake properly.
Gear Solid in the title.
That's
you know,
how he
like
duped
the
us.
real, you know, like the real twist in that game, don't you, Nick? The stupidest twist ever.
God, I don't want to talk about it.
The
I
twist
don't want to
where
finish. I don't want to finish this episode crying.
the twist where
Crying with
like the
happiness.
main character wasn't really the main character. It was somebody tricked into thinking they were the main character.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
All right, when we talk about the top 5 Metal Gear Solid games, it'll have to be an episode called Top 4.
No, because
This has been Top 5 with Nick. Today I had with me Ashley Hobley.
Yes, you did. And if you want to hear more from me, you can go to Twitter and talk to me at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. It's a thing.
And where can we find you, Kieran?
You can find me on Twitter's at your boy Ringo, or come yell at me at twitch.tv/Explosion Network when I'm there.
Yep, and let these Muppet know Metal Gear Solid 5 was not a Metal Gear game.
It was a Metal Gear game. It happened.
You can email theme and topic suggestions to don't@explosionnetwork.com. You can also tweet at us with the same thing, or just general shenanigans at ExplosionPod. You can rate and review us on iTunes. I would greatly appreciate that. Or if you don't use Apple like myself, you could just spread us around by word of mouth. Go, hey, you like 4 Metal Gear Solid games, listen to this Top 5 show.
You can make pamphlets as well. That'd be cool.
Yeah, pamphlets, just... tell everyone. Even if they probably won't listen to it, just tell them anyway. ExplosionNetwork.com for all our other shows, like Ashley's What Do You Want to Watch and Kieran's Early Late Nights, which you can also find over at twitch.tv/ExplosionNetwork.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you all for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and good night, everyone. Welcome to the number 1 top 5... oh, fuck me. I just had a stroke midway through. This is going at the end of the episode.